small adventure up to the north of Scotland, and the route that I'm doing is a little bit unusual because on day one I'll be walking along the south side of a main road, and then at the end of the day I'll be crossing that road, and then on the day two I'll be walking a ridge on the other side of the road. So what that means is that I'm going to be able to leave my tent and so on at the main road and not have to carry it for day one. So that's quite convenient. The route overall is around 50 kilometres, I think, over the 2 days, and about 3,500 metres of ascent, I think. I'll put that on screen. So it's reasonably long, and therefore I want to go as light as I can. I always want to go as light as I can, but particularly on these long routes. We are almost at the summer solstice, so long days, plenty of light. The forecast is pretty good. There's not really to be any rain, or just a little bit of rain here and there. It's not to be overly warm, equally not too cold. There has to be a wind for most of the 2 days, but it shouldn't be too strong. So all of that together means that I can go fairly light. So I'll go through some of the kit I'm taking. As usual, I'm taking the lightweight fabric boots. They're the lightest pair that I own other than my trail runners. I am going to take a shelter. I'm going to take a tent. This is my lightest tent, I think, fully enclosed tent. It's about 700 grams, single skin, so it's ideal for summer where there's going to be midges, there's going to be a bit of wind, maybe a wee bit of rain, but nothing too bad. So it's nice to be enclosed, particularly from the midges in Scotland. Unfortunately, I've just sold my summer sleeping bag, which is terrible timing, and my new one isn't due to arrive for a couple of months. So I'm going to have to take my kind of autumn and spring sleeping bag, which is quite heavy. It's about 900 grams, so it's about 450 grams heavier than my new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm not really going to take any other insulation with me. When I'm in the tent, I know I'll be warm enough in my sleeping bag, and hopefully the rest of the time I won't be too cold. I've got a small closed cell mat that I'll take just to stop slipping around. A pillow. I've got this rucksack. This is my lightest backpack. I think it's about 500 grams, and yeah, nice and light, not too big. I've got in it my air mat is already in there, and the map. I've got my trekking poles, water, first aid, toilet stuff. I've got my PLB locator beacon, a battery pack, temperature gauge, spare lace. I've got a small torch. It's almost the longest day, so I don't expect to need a torch, so I've just got a wee lightweight head torch. I've got my compass in there. One of the most important things, I've got my midgie head net, and I've got a lightweight pair of gloves and hat. Even in summer, you can get pretty cold at the top of the hills, so it's always good to have hat and gloves. And when the midges are bad, you want to be able to cover all your skin, so a pair of gloves is pretty good for that as well. I've got, you'll notice I don't have any stove. I'm not taking a stove. I don't really need one in the summer. It's a nice to have, but not really needed. So I've just got dried foods, mostly nuts, and I think the total weight of food is about 650 grams for the 2 days, which isn't bad. Certainly save some weight by not taking a stove with me. And then in terms of what I'm wearing, quite standard, just 2 pairs of wool socks, a woolen base layer, a pair of walking trousers. I'm not going to go in shorts because there will be ticks and midges around. So a pair of walking trousers, an underlayer pair of shorts, I always wear them. And then I'll really just take a windproof. There might be light showers, but I don't need a waterproof, just if it's going to be gentle showers or small showers, a windproof should be fine. So fairly straightforward, not been too many decisions. I think the main decisions were to take a shelter, but I think that's good if there's going to be a wee bit of rain, wind and midges. It's good to be able to be fully enclosed. The rest is pretty much just almost as light as I can go, I think. I might take a lightweight fleece just in case on the tops it's cold. I'll decide on that later. And I might take a sun hat, but probably not, because I think the forecast is that it will be overcast. So I think that's it. The decision making fairly straightforward, pretty much go light for this trip. I'll put the total base weight up on the screen, and you can have a look at the lighter pack. Steep or steeper descent here. Easy enough to come down. Slightly harder with poles and a GoPro in your hands, but no problems. Let's see if my tent is where I left it. Given the value of the stuff inside it. was up early the next morning. It hadn't been cold overnight, so I had a quick cold coffee that I'd carried in with me, and then came out to see a beautiful morning. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the pictures and videos from that trip. You'll see that on the first day the weather was a bit better than was forecast, and the views along the South Glenshiel Ridge were quite impressive. I did suffer a wee bit from dehydration because of that, but what can you do when the weather's a little better than forecast? The overnight was pretty much as predicted. There was a wee bit of rain, and then the second day was kind of cloudy for a large part, which was actually really nice. It kept the temperature down a bit. But I didn't have many choices to make regarding kit, and I pretty much got it all spot on. I was pleased with everything I took. It all worked well. I was certainly glad for taking the shelter. There was some midges, and I was pleased to be protected from them. And then to have a light pack was really required because it was a long trip, and a lot of walking, and then the cycle as well. The second day actually was in some ways even more impressive than the first, and hopefully you saw a few of those pictures and video from up high early in the morning. Really magnificent, looking out into Glen Achralaig, and some of the walking that day was arguably more impressive than the South Glenshiel Ridge. So it was a great route, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of it.